To ensure the volume level on your device is set correctly, please listen to this audio and set the volume on your device so you can hear it clearly. This volume level will be the same as the upcoming livecast. You can also hover your mouse at the bottom of the livecast window to reveal a volume control you can adjust.
What's up? Week 5 walkthrough, KBB family. What's going on, knowledge brokers? So good to have you here right now, whether you're just going through this course and you're in the beginning phases. This is the place to be connected, to be a part of something bigger than yourself. You're here as an alumni, just supporting other people and kind of getting that refreshed feeling, or somewhere in the middle, you're already crushing it, just beginning. This is the place to be. Now, yes, I look like hell. I got a hat on, I haven't shaved. I am in creation mode. I am like in the trenches right now working on some incredible stuff. Gonna blow your mind. A lot of it, most of it, is for the KBB family. So I'm so glad you're here today. Of course, Arvin's gonna be on here in a moment. He's in the studio right now waiting to just light it up. But today, we're gonna be talking about running these events and how to ingrain that in you right now, whether you've already run them and you're ready to run more, whether that, and we say an event, it could be in a Zoom call, an online training, creating your course, doing an in-person mastermind someday when we can get in person. Doesn't matter what, building the community. How do you ingrain that into your soul and have the confidence to run it with no stress, right? I know that sounds maybe harder than it is, but I want to tell you, I want to go all the way back to one of my first masterminds. I want to tell you, well over a decade ago, I don't think it was 2 decades ago, but somewhere, 15, 18 years ago, doing my first mastermind, I walked in, most people were my age or older. I still have that inner, I know the cool word in today's language is imposter syndrome, but I still have that, you're not smart enough. They're not gonna believe in you, and who are you to teach them? Even though I was in this business, right? But I can remember walking in and being nervous, like almost cottonmouth. And this was in person. It wasn't Zoom or a virtual, which I would love to have done as my first one, right? But I remember walking in, and when I really went through all the processes you went through, and I identified my story, what I was going to teach, and how I was going to anchor it in with the tool. When I went through all that, and I didn't have somebody guiding me week after week, I was just trying to figure this out. When I walked in, I felt like an imposter. Maybe you don't have that feeling, but I did. And then when I was about 15 minutes in, I just watched and I realized I know more than they do. And I could help guide these people. And they're here to listen. And I watched everything I said. They were just gravitating towards all of it. And the questions they had, I had answers for most of it. And if I didn't, we figured it out collectively. Or I got back to them at another time. And all of a sudden, I remember being a half a day or a day in, and I was like, oh my God, this is freaking amazing. I was completely addicted. Now, for those of you on right now and you've done a mastermind, you've done a training, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Even if you think you screw up and you delivered an 8, they think it's a 12 because it's still so much above what they're there to soak it up. So what I'm telling you is that's how I felt on my first one. But I've run really high-level masterminds, some of the highest level masterminds that exist out there. And I've walked in feeling that way a year and a half ago. Hey, these people, there's one guy in the group does $400 million a year, and he's paying me insane amounts of money to learn from me. Am I here? And I'd walk in with that same feeling. But I knew I had capabilities that could help them go faster and quicker. And you don't have to solve every problem in their life. We're looking to solve one unique thing. Sometimes one thing shifts the needle. So I just want to share with you that if you feel a little scared about your first one or growing, good. That makes you step up your game. That's why you should be here and stay anchored and keep going. If you're already doing it and you're ready to scale, and that's a little scary. That's why you're here. That's why you gain these capabilities. What's great about KBB, what's great about the opportunities that Tony and I work on, like our implementation lab, where we help you implement and make it real, right? Sometimes we have all the knowledge, we have all the desire, but it's just about making it go, scaling what you have, starting, right? So stay engaged with us, stay a part of the community, grab the education that makes sense for you to make this real in your life. Don't look back in 5 years with regret going, I got the course, great community, Tony and Dean really cared, but I let fear stop me. I let worry stop me. I let that so-called imposter syndrome stop me. Hell with that. We ain't letting that stop us. Hey, you're listening to me with a hat and a beard, looking like crap today with, yes, a gray t-shirt. I have like 70 of these. Okay, I digress. I'm looking at myself like, you could have shaved. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here on week 5. The other thing I want to share too is don't be afraid to start small. If this is new for you and you put 3 people on a Zoom call that are paying you and you change their life, is that bad? Hell no. You get better. You learn exactly what to do. Your confidence goes up. And it's easier to go to 6, 12, 24, 500, right? One step at a time, Kaizen. Plant the seed. Stay with us. Stay engaged. Get the help you need. I love watching the transformation of people that are here, going through the course, being a part of our accelerator club, being part of our implementation lab where we work together to make this real in your life. Whatever part fits you, stay engaged, fully immerse yourself, and make this real. Okay, you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Come on, we got to give it up for this guy. He's got some energy, and more than energy, he's got the capabilities, he's got the love, got the care for you. Can we please give it up for Mr. Arvin Anderson?
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to week 5 training, a KBB walkthrough. Let's listen. If you guys are sitting down right now, I'm going to invite you just for a moment. Stand up out of your seat. Stand up out of your seat for me. How are you showing up in the training today? How are you showing up in the room right here, right now? Are we showing up fully present? Are we showing up intentional? Are we showing up focused? Are we showing up ready to learn, ready to take what we learn and implement? Is that how we're showing up? If we're not, then let's make that shift right here, right now. For this next hour, let's just be laser focused because this is such an optimal opportunity for you guys to condition yourself for how you want to show up, not just here in this room, but in life. Because how you show up is going to be a reflection of everything that you create. And here is the opportunity for us to start conditioning that version of ourselves that we're wanting to become, that we're in the process of becoming. So if you're not showing up in that peak state, in that full focus, with some enthusiasm, with some fun, with some joy, with some playfulness, then do it with me right now, right? If you're still feeling a little stiff, a little heavy, a little constricted, then move the arms around, move the body, get the energy flowing. Let's have some fun here, baby. Let's have some fun. We're learning, we're growing, we're creating, and then we're going to start implementing. So right here in the chat right now, I want you to put in there, tell me, how are you showing up in the room right now? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? What emotion are you committed to being in for the next hour here with me? Because I am committed to being in a very enthusiastic, joyful, fun, playful mood with you guys. And I'm very intentional about bringing the energy, bringing the impact, and creating more avenues for you guys to go out there and take this KBB tool that we created for you and go out there and create an impact and create an income doing it. You guys with me? Yeah? Is that what you want? That's what I want for you. Is that what you want for yourselves? Then let's go, baby. Let's go. As always, I just want to start with a brief recap here. Let's look at the building blocks that we put together here as we continue to experience this growth that we're in right now. And find yourself in the journey, right? Because sometimes we get caught up. Sometimes we start to get a little overwhelmed. We look at all the things that are still left to be done. We get caught up in making decisions. It's like, oh, I don't know what I want to do yet. And we have this tendency to lose sight, to lose track of all the things that we've already accomplished. Look how far we've come. We're 5 weeks in. Look, you're still committed. You're still in here. You're still showing up. Not everybody is. There's a lot of people that were here in week 1 that aren't here now. But you are. So what does that say about you? What does that say about you? About how you show up? That you're committed. That you're intentional. That this is important to you. That you're going to make this a priority. That you're going to do whatever it takes. Because that's the mentality that creates the results that you're after. That belief in yourself, that belief, that certainty that no matter what happens, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to make it happen. And then you do whatever it takes, because that's the only way. If you don't believe with absolute certainty, procrastination, excuses, all of those things will start to get in the way. But when you got that absolute certainty that I can do this, I will do this, I must do this, then you will do whatever it takes. And we're going to stay in these conversations with us. That's the whole point of having these containers, so that we can just have these constant reminders, this influence, this refresher. Sometimes you've heard this stuff multiple times. Maybe it's brand new for you. It doesn't matter. It's the repetition and hearing these things. It's the repetition and putting yourself in these conversations, in these containers, that are going to really solidify that thought process. Because repetition is the mother of what? Skill. And mindset, being intentional about how you want to think and show up, is a skill set. So the more repetition we get, the better we get, until we start to achieve that level of mastery, when we are in full control of everything that's happening within our lives, within ourselves, and without, in the external. And that's where we started, right? We started with mindset. We started with mindset. It's the focal point. It's how you should start every conversation, every training. When you guys create your masterminds, when you guys create your impact, you must have some component of mindset in there, and whatever that means to you. But it's really about, how do we get them to think differently about their current situation? How do we get them to think differently about who they believe they are, about how they're showing up, about what they think this process is, about what they think the challenge and difficulty of creating their outcome really is? Like, how do we get them to think differently? That's mindset. So making sure that we have some components around there. And on that week 1, we asked you, what is your limiting belief, and what's the new empowering thought? You guys been conditioning it? Yeah? Yes, I must. I love it. Yes, playful, joyful, peak state, super excited. Let's go. Conditioning that empowering thought. The more you do it, the better you start to feel. Because the more you choose to think a thought over and over again, it becomes a belief. And the belief is what we live our life by. It's the actions that we take or created by the beliefs that we have in place. And we create a belief by having an intentional thought that we repeat over and over and over again until we believe it to be true. And then once we know how we want to show up, then we can start focusing on creating. And we rolled into extracting. And we started to extract all of the things that make you unique, that make you special, pulling out the expertise, the experience, all the things that you have within you, that you can create an experience around, that you can help people move the needle in their lives because you've already been on that journey, or you've already helped other people do the same, or you've simply just extracted that information from other sources and you created a process, a methodology that they can follow, that you can help them implement, help them create those changes. And we ask you, identify the problem that you solve. What is that problem that you solve? What is that tangible problem and that intangible, right? The intangible is the emotion, right? I know a lot of you guys out there are wanting to create an experience that helps people feel more confident, more fulfilled, aligned with their purpose, just more certainty in themselves, more love for themselves. It's those feelings. Those are the intangible aspects. And that is part of the experience that we're going to create. But we also want to make sure, what's the problem that we're solving in the external world? If I'm lacking confidence right now and all of a sudden I had it, what would I create? Would I leave my job and start my own business? Would I start dating again? Would I just have a different approach to attacking my health and just have a little bit more certainty in what's important to me, to create a body that I love to be in? Like, what's the external result that I'm going to do, the external action I'm going to do, the external solution I'm going to create when I create those senses, that sense of fulfillment and confidence? So we want to make sure we're speaking to both of those things. And then once we have that, once we know what problem we solve and we start to extract the tools that solve that problem, well, we have now created a mastermind. We have created a mastermind experience. And now once we have the mastermind, the offer, the vehicle in which we create the solution, well, now we can start to build an audience and sell it. Sales and marketing. And we dove into seller's mindset, right? You guys still feeling a little fear around selling? Like, what is your belief structure around selling? If you finish a statement, selling is what? What is selling? Is it sleazy? Is it invasive? Does it lack authenticity? Is it forced? Is it uncomfortable? Like, what is selling to you? Because if we have negative beliefs around selling, it's going to show up in the way in which we sell. And listen, if you want to create your impact, you have got to sell. And selling isn't even about money. It is most of the time. But you could create a free experience and invite people to be a part of it, but that invitation is still a sale. You're still selling the experience. You're selling them that this is the problem that they have, and you have the solution, and you're inviting them to come in. You still have to put yourself out there. But if we can reframe what selling really is, selling is sharing the opportunity to solve this person's problem. Selling is sharing that solution. That's what it is. Selling is the vehicle in which I create impact. Selling is the opportunity that I present to myself and to them for both of us to grow together in this experience. Or it's just something as simple as I love selling. I love it. I love that it scares me. I love that it makes me feel vulnerable. I love that it's putting myself out there. I love that I have the opportunity to face rejection and not let it affect me. I love that I can let a no mean nothing and a yes mean nothing, because all that matters is how I show up. I love that I have that as an opportunity to go out there and condition my what? My mindset. And we talked about that hook story close, right? Selling can be fun and profitable, yes. Selling is food on the table, yes. Let's eat, baby. Oh, these are so cool, right? Yeah, share them in the chat. Put them up there. Give people perspective. This is the power of community, right? I only know what I know. I don't know what you guys know, and all you guys have something valuable to contribute to this conversation, so share it. I love it. Selling with passion. Yes, I love it. Selling is providing something that your client needs for transforming. Absolutely. It's a validation of my worth. Yes. Validate yourself. You validate you. And then when we get into the selling, we talked about that hook story close. How do we capture somebody's attention? And we ask you, what is your hook? If I'm scrolling through social media, what's going to get me to stop? What is it? What's that one thing? What's that one hook that's going to get me to stop and pull me in? And then you have the story that really starts to build that trust, that rapport, and that engagement that gets people to connect with you, that human experience that people are longing for right now. And then since we worked on that seller mindset, holding that bridge into the close so that we can sell them the opportunity to work with us so that we can solve that problem for them. And then we evolved into marketing, actual marketing piece. How do we get people in the door? We talked about that wagon wheel. What is the specific platform you're going to focus on first? Instead of trying to wear all the hats and bringing unnecessary complexity into our lives, what do we need to focus on first? What do we need to focus on first? And if we really want to get good at marketing, if we want to get really good at it, it starts with the warm network. It starts with you just going out there and creating conversations so you can start to understand what people are looking for. How do they articulate their problem? Because it's probably differently than the way you do it. And when we can have some conversations, it does things multi-levels, right? Like, yeah, it gives you your messaging so that you know exactly what to say in your hook because you're using their words in the way that they define their problem. It starts to give you a better understanding of what people are going through so that you can make that connection and meet them where they're at. It starts to build your confidence as a leader and a facilitator because you're going out there and you're creating these conversations. It helps you overcome that fear of selling, of engaging, so you have more confidence in that area as well. Multiple levels there that are going to condition you to run these mastermind experiences and be a world-class facilitator. All those opportunities are available to you, and it does start with marketing, to go out there and create engagement. And then if we're going to stay current, if we're going to stay relevant to what's happening right here in this moment, we must have some avenue where we're going to direct people into an online community. It has become the standard that if people are going to invest in experience, that they want an online community that goes along with it. And Facebook groups have been where most people, the majority of the people out here, they're utilizing Facebook groups. And if you use them effectively, they can be one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful tool in keeping your audience engaged and along the ride for the journey. And so we asked you, what's the name of your Facebook group? What are you going to name it? What's going to be the name of your tribe? And we got some cool answers, and I wanted to share some of them. If I say your name, I want you right wherever you're at, just say, woo, yes, right? I want you to celebrate it. Celebrate it. Lauren Stivison. Lauren Stevenson, she had an acronym, HOPE. I love it. Health, opportunity, prayer, and exponential growth, baby. Exponential. Why go to the next level when you can just get to the peak? Oh, I love it. I love it. Corvette Morris Barclay, Mastermind for Profit. Speaks specifically to people that want to go out there and make a profit, make some money, right? I imagine there's going to be some entrepreneurs in that space, people with that mindset of they want to accumulate wealth. I dig it. Nadine Robson, Energizing Conversations. Oh, man. Sounds like a mastermind I should be a part of. I love it, right? Like, who doesn't love? I mean, there's certain people out there that just love energized, intentional conversation. That's a value of mine. I'm not a big fan of surface level talk, right? How's your day going? How's the weather? What have you been up to? Like, nah, man, let's talk about something deep. What's the next level of life look like for you? What's a fear that you're not stepping into right now that if you did would change everything? Those are the conversations that I want to have. Sharon Sistad. There's always one. There's always one, isn't there? Well, I struggle on the name. Sharon Sistad. Thriving Families. I dig it. I dig it. Man, what a powerful group for that to be in. Like, you're setting the intention right off the bat. Like, this is for families that want to thrive. Right? You can feel the energy in that. Jackie Jones. Oh, this one's super cool. Jackie Jones. Fatigue Commandos. Commandos. I love it because now you gave your community an identity. Commandos, right? Like you could, come on, Commandos. You ready, Commandos? It's go time, Commandos. Like you gave them a name, right? It's something that they can associate with as a whole tribe. I dig it. That's super smart. I love that. That's amazing. Awesome, man. I love seeing all the names that are out there, right? Like you start to give your community an identity, an essence, a vibe. And people love to feel like they're a part of something. It's human connection. You know, like Tony always says, our 6 human needs. Love and connection is one of those. We want to be connected with people. We want to be in an experience. And that's what these online communities can create. And right now, we can't even be in in-person communities. Online communities is the only place for us to hang out. So it's so imperative that we have a part of this. Going to the chat. Oh, yeah, you guys are all sharing some names. I love it. Cancer Warriors, let's go. Yes. I love it. The Smiling Brains. Yeah, that's so unique. I love it. That's so cool. That's so cool. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's me. You didn't even like it. I know we're our own worst critic, aren't we? Aren't we? I think it's cool, man. I say run with it. You can always change it in the future, but I love it. The Fatigue Commandos. Taking control. I dig it. So as we evolve here into the training for today, because we're walking you through the journey of Mastermind. You know, the mindset, creating the experience. How do you sell it? How do you market it? Build an audience around it. And then what happens? Well, the day comes where it's time to run your mastermind. And what do you think is going to show up on that day? What do you think is going to show up? Dean talked about it when he ran his masterminds. I've done multiple workshops and masterminds in the past, and the same thing showed up for me as well. It comes daytime, right? It's showtime, right? It's the day of. You're ready to run this experience. You're excited. And then that fear comes in, right? Like, oh my God, what if I screw this up? What if like people don't show up? What if they're not happy? What if I don't create the results? Oh, like, what if I go up there and I freeze and I forget what I'm supposed to talk about? What if this doesn't even make sense? What if this only makes sense to me and it doesn't make sense to anybody else? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Oh my gosh, I don't know. There's so many other people out there doing this better than I'm doing it right now. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the right person for this, right? That all shows up. That all shows up. And here's the thing. That voice is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. All we can do is condition the other voice to be louder. Say, yeah, hell yeah, you're right for this. Come on. People need you to show up. You are meant to create this impact. Just go out there and have fun. Just let it be whatever the experience is going to be. And I love what Dean shared before, where it's as we look at the experience from our perspective and from their perspective, right? And he shared this with us. I remember it was one of the most powerful things that Dean ever shared with me, because it immediately changed my whole perspective. When we were running one of our workshops here, you know, where we take people in these immersive experiences and we radically move the needle for them. Like, we put them in this immersion and we get them, like, we create these masterminds. We, like, all the things that we're talking about in this training, we put them in this workshop and we make that stuff happen, right? Because it's really hard to get you to do it on your own, right? I mean, raise your hand if you've made a commitment to something and struggled to follow through on it. It's much more likely to get done when you put yourself in a room of other people doing the same thing and around some leaders that can help you get that thing done because they've already done it. And we're getting ready to run one of our workshops, and it was a new model that we're putting out there. So it's like, you know, you want to go out there and you want to deliver at a high level. You want to create something that's excellent. And when you're in this space, like I said earlier, you're your own worst critic, right? And so we kind of tapped into that. He says, look, you guys are all high achievers in here, and you guys all hold yourself to a very high standard. And so no matter what this experience is for you, you're going to find ways where you could have made it better. And you may walk out of this experience feeling like, hey, this was like a 7 out of 10 for me. And that's okay, because that just shows that you're just striving for excellence. But just know on the other side that everybody that showed up to that experience, it was a 10 out of 10 for them. And trust in that. And when he said that, it just like, oh man, it just gave me such perspective, right? Because we're only looking at things through our lens, right? So we just look at it from a completely different perspective. Because on the other side of it, when people come into your mastermind, on its most simplest level, people are looking for 2 things. They're looking for connection and they're looking for experience. And if you can add that third component of growth along with it, well, then it just becomes exponentially better. And that's really what it is. And so just trust the experience to be what it's supposed to be. Just allow it to be what it's supposed to be. And just trust that the experience is going to be impactful no matter how it runs. Like, even if there's multiple things that you feel went wrong, they're all learning experiences that everybody in the room is going to learn from. So their experience is going to be exactly what it's supposed to be. And so when we're able to look at it from that lens, it just immediately allowed us all to kind of just connect and just be in flow with the experience. And we just had so much fun with it. It's like we eliminated any kind of unnecessary stress or pressure that we're putting on ourselves. And we ran this extraordinary experience. And I mean, I just love these workshops that we do because it allows us to, you know, obviously like build a deeper connection with our KBB family and guide them through each step of the process, because we get to see where those multiple moments are where you tend to drop off. And oh man, it just reminds me of Maya Stewart. She was just, oh, I loved Maya. She just has this beautiful energy. And she just had this purpose-driven mission that she was just ignited by. Like, she was so passionate about it. And as we started to piece this thing together, there was a moment where an issue came up where she was contemplating dropping out and quitting. And left to her own devices, I promise you, she would have quit. She would have found a way to talk herself out of it. Why? Because we all do in those moments. That's why it's so important to surround ourselves with like-minded people that want to see you succeed. And I remember just like having that conversation with her, like connecting with her in that moment, listening to what she was experiencing, being able to offer her some perspective of how she could look at this thing differently. And she recommitted to the experience. And she shows up to the workshop, and we go out and we create this mastermind. And I mean, she's just completely realigned, purpose-driven again, feeling confident, feeling fun, feeling like she's in flow. And she comes out of this and she launches her mastermind. And she sells it out. She started real intimate, like Dean was saying. You know, she started with 6 people. 6 people in that first mastermind that she launched, and she sold that thing for $5,000 a seat. And she sold that thing out. And it was this incredible, impactful moment. Now, don't worry, everybody's on their own journey, right? Even if you come out of your experience and you launch your first one for free, the fact that you get an experience going and you get some people in the room, that is a powerful, powerful experience. Powerful. So just honor yourself where you are in the journey and know that's right where you're supposed to be. You know, Maya was a little bit further along and she was able to kind of create that experience. She had more confidence and certainty in herself about what her value was. And we've been able to condition that into her as part of that experience, like really getting her to step into her worth. And that's the power of workshops, right? That's the power of masterminds like you're creating. You're going to be able to create these same experiences for yourself when you start, and the people that you serve when you create your masterminds. You're going to be able to catch when there's a drop-off point where maybe they would quit if they're left to their own devices. Or maybe a moment where they're lacking a little confidence and self-worth, and you can get them to step into that so they can feel what that feels like and step forward from that kind of energy and vibration and go out there and create something that's more extraordinary than they would have been able to do on their own. That's the power of what we're creating here, each and every one of us. And so when we start to run these experiences, when we're running them, the teaching, right? It's the certainty that we have when we go out there and we teach. And so here's my advice to you guys. You guys listen? You guys want a little bit of advice on how you can condition yourself to be ready so you can radically grow this mastermind experience even faster? Is there skills that you can practice along the way to build your confidence with running these experiences? So you've identified the problem that you solve and the way that you solve it. Or maybe you're still figuring that out, and that's okay too. But what you have the opportunity to do is you could go out there and just start having conversations and teaching this stuff right now. You can do it with other people. You can go on social media. You can make videos and post them. You can do lives on video. You can do Zoom meetings and invite people to be a part of it. You could just get a camera out and record yourself doing it and never show anybody. But just start to practice the skill of teaching, of speaking, of facilitating. So that when it comes time for you to do that first virtual mastermind that's going to lead into this live mastermind, and I'm saying your first virtual because I want you guys to do this quickly. I want you guys to just take raw, messy action. And let's just start doing it. Let's just get our hands dirty. Let's just get uncomfortable because that's where growth happens. I'm really going to start urging you guys to start going out there and create containers where you can start teaching some of your tools, teaching some of your lessons, start solving people's problems. So you start to get real clear about what this mastermind experience is going to be, and more importantly, the confidence that we're all wanting to feel that you can do this. But you don't get that confidence until you take the courageous action of just putting yourself out there and allowing yourself to just be raw, make some mistakes, and learn, knowing that even though that's happening as part of your experience, you're still serving the other person on the other side. You are still serving them, I promise you. I promise you they're still being served. And that's what we want to do. We want to start looking for those opportunities. How can we build our confidence? And we build confidence by, confidence is feeling as if you have earned the result that you're after because of the work that you put in to earn it. Because you've done the reps, you've done the practice, you've sharpened the skill. Like, okay, I feel confident. I'm ready. Why? Because I'm prepared. I've done what was necessary to be ready for this moment. So I challenge each and every one of you, if you're not already doing it, start doing it. Start having conversations. Teach a tool to somebody, even if it's just a friend or family member, it doesn't matter. Like, teach something to somebody so you can start getting better at this, knowing it's not going to be that good in the beginning. It's not supposed to be. It's a new skill. If I ask you to pick up a guitar and play me a song and you've never done it before, do you think that you're going to just all of a sudden just play this beautiful melody? No. I'm going to be like, I think you need to practice. But then you start practicing, get better at it. You know, you can pull me aside even a week later and be like, all right, I've been practicing. How about this? I'm like, all right, there's a melody. Same thing. Teaching, right? We want to find our flow. We want to find our melody. And when we can teach with confidence, that's when it gets easier for us to go out there and market and sell, because now we know that this experience that we created is valuable. It's valuable. We have that validation and that certainty within ourselves. Yes. I love it. Massive action. Haha. Massive intentional action, right? Massive action is pointless if you are not in the right state when you execute the action. Keep that in mind. First step, you got to get in the right state first, and then you take massive action from that place. So something cool that what we've done here with KBB, when we launched KBB, this whole pandemic wasn't happening. So we were really focused on live events. You know, virtual was just like an accessory to live events if we even offered it. But now that we've shifted into this online world, we realized that we needed to pivot. And so we put a bonus training in KBB after we created the course. We added it in after on how to create virtual events, how to get on virtual stages so that you can start going out there and expanding your message and reaching more people. There's a variety of virtual stages that you can get on. You can go out there and be a guest on somebody's podcast. You can go out there and be a guest in somebody's virtual mastermind. You can be a guest in somebody's group coaching program. You can be a guest on somebody's social media page. They can do a live and they can bring you on as a guest, and you can have a conversation talking about the problem that you solve. These are all avenues of getting on other people's stages. And then obviously the virtual platform that you can use. We use Zoom for the majority of our trainings, right? Whenever we do our workshops and we start to bring these intimate containers together, when we're working hands-on with people to make sure that they actually implement, to get them in the right mindset, create the strategy, and then ensure that they execute. And we do those in our workshops, right? But we do that via Zoom so that we can have that personal interaction until we can start getting live again. Because once it comes time to go live, right? Because that time's going to show up again. We're going to get back into live events. We're going to get back there. All right? I'm certain of it. We must. I love live events. I love virtual too. I just love human connection. But I also love live events. And as we start to get into those live events, and it comes time for you to start to run those, that tool that we have in there of how to run your events in KBB is one of the most brilliant step-by-step processes that I've ever seen in the event space. Teresa and Jess and Amanda and Aubrey, our events team here, like they are the brilliant minds behind all the events that we create here. They're absolutely brilliant at what they do. We have done very small immersion type events into large events with thousands of people in there. And so they know how to facilitate events at the smallest scale up to the largest. And they've taken every ounce of expertise that they have and identified every single step of every process that they've had to implement in creating an event and given you the checklist on how to go out there and implement the step-by-step process. It's absolutely brilliant. It takes all the thought process out of it. And I remember when I looked through it the first time, there's so many things like I didn't even think of, right? I didn't even think of that you had to have that as part of the agenda, especially when you get into renting out event venues, because you're going to build to that space. We're going to start small, right? We're going to start small, and you're going to start with 2 or 3 people in a room, you know? And you're going to build from there, and as you start to build, and you start to build momentum, next thing you know, it's like, man, I got 100 people that want to show up. I need a venue. I got to go rent a room somewhere, you know? I mean, that's going to be the growth of your impact. Isn't that exciting? I mean, how exciting is that going to be when you're going to be able to look at, man, I remember what my first experience was. What was it? My first experience, I invited 2 of my friends, right? Or I invited my husband or my wife or my mom, right? To just be in there. I just taught that one person. And then that beginning phase, it was just like, man, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm meant for this. Like, I don't know if this is going to work. And you're still building your confidence and your certainty back then. And you just kept doing it. And you kept doing it. And you kept doing it. Next thing you know, you got, an ideal client in there. Next thing you know, people started to pay to be a part of it. And you started to create some transformations. And then you start to get known for this thing. And you start to build a reputation. You start to build a brand. And you start to expand. And then all of a sudden, it's like, man, I can't do this in like intimate settings anymore. In order for me to serve my audience, which has grown, I got to get a venue. And the next thing you know, yeah, you got 30 people in there, 50 people in there, 100 people in there, 1,000 people in there, however big you want to make it. How cool is that going to be? Right? Like, how cool is that going to be that first time you walk out in that room? You're like, whoa, man, there's a sea of faces. All here to see you. All here to see you. Because you started. You started. You committed. You saw it through. You showed up. You did whatever it took to make it happen. And then it happened. How cool is that moment going to be? Oh, man. Woo! Well, I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited. We're going to go into a little bit of Q&A here. But as always, we do have some prizes we're going to give away. I got to grab them real quick. Don't worry, I'm still with you. You can still hear my voice. You guys show up for us, we're going to show up for you. And so we're going to give away some prizes. And I encourage you, right? Especially if you're like scared to get on camera. If you're still scared to get on camera, which is perfectly normal, every single one of us were scared to get on camera the first time that we did it, right? The very first time I went live. Very first time I ever went live on social media. I was so nervous. I remember I was sitting at my dining room table, and I was sitting there, I was just like, I was working with a coach at a time, and he challenged me. He's like, you need to go live today. And I was so scared, like so much fear. I was sweating. I was so nervous, and I had my phone out. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. I felt like I was jumping out of a plane. It was terrifying. And my hand was shaking so bad, I went to press the button to go live, and like I completely missed my phone. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. It was crazy how nervous I was in that moment. So even if that's you, I want to give you this opportunity. If you win a prize today, I want you to submit a video, and I want you to tag me in it. And it's showing, like, celebrating, right? Like, show me how excited you are that you won the prize. Show me how excited you are. So, first prize I'm going to give away is a Mastermind water bottle. And the winner of that Mastermind water bottle is going to be Sharon Shaw. Sharon Shaw, you are the winner of the Mastermind water bottle. Yes. Next up, guys, Better Life Journal, because we should all be journaling. We should all be journaling. Well, I feel so much resistance around journaling so often, but every time I sit down and do it, oh man, so much good stuff comes out. It's like a cleansing, right? It's like all the stuff that has me like chaos in my mind, it just finally comes out, and it's like, oh, there it is. Okay, I see it now. I see it. I love this book because each page has a motivational quote, which just gives you the opportunity to think differently. That's how we create new results, right? Different perspective. And the winner of that is going to be Melinda Clayton. Melinda Clayton, you have won the Better Life Journal. Congratulations, Melinda Clayton. Send me a video. Tag me in it in the KBB forum, showing how excited you are for this. Who's going to be excited for a signed edition of Underdog Advantage by Mr. Dean Graziosi? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? It is going to be Patricia Kramer. Patricia Kramer, you are the winner of a signed edition of Underdog Advantage. Yes, I love it. Next up, one of our Mastermind battery packs. Let's go, baby. Fits easily in any kind of pocket. Easy to carry along with you. You never have to worry about your phone dying again. And the winner of that one is going to be Caroline East. Caroline East, how exciting. Yes, Caroline East, you are a winner. And the winner of our Mastermind hat, yes, the winner of our Knowledge Broker Mastermind hat, the final winner of today is Mike Makowski. Mike Makowski, you are the winner of the Mastermind hat today. I'm so excited because everybody had names I can pronounce. I believe I got all the names right. That's the first time in 5 weeks of training with you guys that I was able to do that. Oh, I love it. So guys, I want to open this up here because we've got a few more minutes here to do some training. Let's get some questions in here. Where are you guys at? You guys have some questions? Or do you have a question about how to run an event, about being a speaker? Do you have a question about on the marketing side of it? Are you feeling a little stuck right now? Do you need some mindset perspective? Do you know how to make a shift? What is it? Where are you at right now? Drop me a question. Drop me a question here in the chat so I can see where you guys are at, so I can give you guys what you need. All right? I'm here to serve you guys, man. This is my favorite part, right? I love like giving you guys training and offer a perspective, but I love it even more when we can sit here and just have a conversation, and I can just serve you up right here, right now. Oh, I love how you guys are all celebrating the winners. That's so cool, man. That's community. That is community. I love that. I just love the positive energy that's in here, right? Everybody's here to support one another. I love like when I'm going to that KBB group and somebody's sharing something vulnerable, and it's just like all these people come in immediately to support them. Like all these people, oh, you got this. I feel you. I've been there too. Like, you know, just whatever it is that they feel they can provide to you in that moment to help you feel supported. Isn't that beautiful? It's not like that in all Facebook groups, man, but it's like that in the KBB group, and I absolutely love that. I love it. Okay, we got some questions coming in. I'm still module 1. That's cool, right? Hey, wherever you are at is where you are at, right? Wherever you are at is where you are at. You are right where you're supposed to be. Question, if you're still on module 1, you know this is interesting, right? This is interesting because what is module 1? What is module 1? It's mindset. It's mindset. So if we're struggling to move the needle, guess what you need? You need mindset. So where are you at? You are right where you're supposed to be. How do I run an event when I'm only at module 2.2.4? Easy. First question is, how do you define an event? How do you define it? Guys, don't be afraid to start small. Matter of fact, start small. Start small. Do you really want your first experience, like facilitating a room, to be when you got 20 people in there that all paid a lot of money to be in there, made a big investment, and that's going to be your first time going out there and facilitating? Hell no. You want to get some reps in. Your first experience can simply be, hey, I have this tool that I want to teach you, and you can invite 2 people that you know to hop into a Zoom room with you, and you can teach them that tool. Or if you have the option to meet in person, to do that, if that's available to you, right? You got family at home, teach your family. That is an event. That is an experience. That's the important part. If you're looking at it from a very high level, an extravagant level, it's going to get really hard to get there if we don't put the necessary building blocks to earn that right to hold that experience. So let's focus on sharpening the skills right now that we need to develop to run that event. So that would be my challenge to you. Is it Paulina? Paulina, start with just getting a couple people and teach them something. Teach them an area of your expertise. You don't need to run them through the whole mastermind, right? Let's say you create a mastermind and there's 5 tools that you're going to teach. Just teach them one of the tools and get a rep in there. See how you feel as a facilitator. And that will start to lead into your event. That's what we call momentum, right? Doing all the necessary things to get ready for the event. Working on some cold emails, not sure about language. There's all kinds of things you can do with copywriting, right? There's a book called, I believe it's called How to Write Copy That Sells. Brilliant book on writing copy. You can also hop into different people's email sequences and see how they formulate their emails. What kind of hooks do they write in their subject lines? What kind of content do they write on their emails? Pay very close attention to the email threads that you are subscribed to, because those people are catching your attention, aren't they? Model what other people are doing. Don't copy. Don't like take something verbatim, but pay attention to it. Why are you opening their emails? Why are you still subscribed? Because there's something about what they're writing that's captivating you. So model what other people are doing. That's how we learn, right? I love this question. What if you get asked about something you don't know enough about? So what if you're running this experience? I love that. It's a fear, right? And somebody asks you a question about something that you don't know. What if I'm sitting here running an event and somebody says, Arvin, like, what are the necessary steps to get to 1 million followers in YouTube? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't done that yet. But here's what I can do. I can help you find the answer. Together we can collaborate and go find where that answer is. Maybe there's another expert that we can bring in. Maybe there's something we can find on Google together. I don't know, but we can find that solution together. It's okay. You're not expected to know everything. And it's okay to say that you don't know. And it's okay to say, I'm not sure, but I'll figure it out. But here's what else that we can rely on. We can rely on the collective genius of the room. Because maybe there is somebody in there that's an expert at YouTube. And they're like, actually, I know exactly how to do that. I can tell you, I know what those steps are. Great. Collaboration. Look, you are facilitating the experience. It's not necessarily your responsibility to be able to answer every single question. You can stand up there in your zone of genius and your expertise and deliver. Whatever you don't know, then be honest. It's okay, I don't know. I haven't done that yet. That's a great question. Let me see if I can help you find a solution. Is there anybody else in the room here that has some perspective on that maybe we can find some clarity to that answer? Right? It's okay. It's to be expected. I'm sure at some point somebody's going to ask you a question that you don't know how to answer, right? And so either you guide them to the source to find the answer, you help them find the answer together, or you can use the collective genius of the room to find that answer. That's how I would answer that question. That's how I do answer the question when I'm ever asked something I don't know. What question should I be asking? In relevance to what? I would need more clarity on what you're asking about what question you should be asking. Oh. I'm planning a 100-person online event. Should I use Zoom or Facebook? So you can use both. So you can have a Zoom room, and depending on the tier of your account, I think the first paid tier is you can use 100 people up into that platform, but you can feed Zoom into your Facebook. If you have a Facebook group, or I believe even to your page. I'm not sure. Wow, didn't it just like roll right into the previous question, right? I know you can feed it into Facebook. I know you can feed it into a Facebook group. I'm not sure if you can feed it into a Facebook page. You probably can. You'd have to check Zoom on that. I'm sure it will tell you. But you can use Zoom and have people in the Zoom room and also feed it into Facebook. Ha! Thank you for asking that question. If anybody knows a specific answer to that, put it in the chat box. Let's use the collective genius of our room. If anybody knows specifically what that answer is, that would be great. Mindset. Yes, yes, yes. I already have a course I'm teaching in private. Do I have to wait until I graduate to launch a mastermind or Zoom or Facebook Live? No, no, absolutely not. You can launch right now, so as long as you feel ready, right? If you're already doing some teachings in private, you have momentum, right? When you guys are taking actions that create results, when you're taking actions, that is how you build momentum. And when you got momentum going, capitalize on that, right? Trust in yourself that if it's something you don't know, you'll figure it out. Trust in yourself that you're going to show up in a powerful way. Trust yourself that the experience is going to be whatever it needs to be. Take the expertise that you have and create whatever experience that you can based on that expertise and just get it going, right? It's more important for you to take continuous steps than it is for you to sit back and wait for something like big and magical to happen, right? Like, I'm not going to do my event until it's this extraordinary event. I'm just going to sit here really just kind of planning it the whole time until it happens. No. Do some skill building activities that help you develop that certainty and confidence in yourself and momentum so that it feeds into that experience, it feeds into that event. How do I start up a Zoom event? My friend, you go to Zoom. Zoom has its own tutorials and it will tell you exactly how to walk through that process. Yes, yes, yes. All these Zoom questions, I invite you guys to sharpen your skill of problem solving and go to Zoom. If you don't have an account, sign up for an account. They have tutorials. All these questions that you're answering are easily answered right there on the Zoom platform. I'm a knowledge broker. This doesn't mean I have to be an expert. So we're going to break down next week how we can utilize KBB and wearing multiple hats with that. But just to speak briefly on that, absolutely right? Like being a knowledge broker, like finding the information first is how we become an expert, right? Nobody became an expert because they decided they were an expert. They became an expert because they went out and they learned and they implemented, right? Knowledge and action, knowledge and action, knowledge and action creates expertise. And that's how we do it. So we can, there's a variety of ways we can use KBB, right? If you're not the expert yet, then it's okay to go out there and extract the information and still create a teaching model that can help people move the needle. But we'll dive deeper into that next week because that's going to be some more of the specific training on that. Do I start by getting a private Facebook group? If you are live, can you have the chat automatically? Yeah. If you start with if you're going to build an online community, private Facebook group, it is private. If you set up the settings, only the members of that Facebook group can see the content, have access to it. So it's only you in that community. And you can do lives in there, and that live will be interactive, and they'll be on the chat box, and you can interact with them. Great question. Is there a hard copy Zoom book? I don't know. You really want to read a whole book on Zoom? Why don't you just go to the Zoom platform and watch a couple of the tutorials? It'll answer all your questions. You can ask Zoom if they have a book. I'm not sure. Yes, yes, yes. How do you keep the momentum going? How do you keep the momentum going? I'm going to finish on this question. I love this question. How do you keep momentum going? How do you think? How would you answer that question? If I was going to turn around and ask you that, how do you keep momentum going? How do you do it? What do you think the answer is? I can tell you what it is from my perspective. And I've already kind of said it, right? It's continuous action. It's continuous action. But what drives action? What drives action? It starts with a decision to commit. And what is a commitment? A commitment is an unbreakable promise to yourself and to anybody else. And we have all built the unfortunate habit of breaking our commitments to ourselves, haven't we? How many times have we said we're going to do something and we don't follow through? And I invite you guys to take this opportunity here in this training, here in this moment, to erase everything that's happened in the past. Erase it all. Every unbroken commitment that you've ever had, all of it. Just any commitment that you have on the table right now, all of it, just get it off the table. Clean slate. And then from here on out, let's just be hyper intentional about any commitment we decide to make. And let's do a thorough analysis of that before we say yes. Before we say yes. Let's not be so easy, so quick to say yes and so quick to say, it's all right, and just let it go. That's not a commitment. That's not a commitment. If it is a commitment, that means you see it through. There's no other option. A commitment means you burn the boats. Your only option is to take that island. That's it. That's the only option. And when you commit to something, then you will do whatever it takes to make it happen. And doing whatever it takes means taking action, whatever those steps are. And every step you take builds momentum. And the more momentum that you build, the more powerful it becomes until it becomes an unstoppable force that nothing can stop. And that's exactly what we're building. But it cannot happen if you do not have an unbreakable commitment first. That is where it begins. And I love that we just tied this in because we have homework, challenge for you. And the challenge is this. If you are going to make the commitment to see this through, maybe you already have, maybe we need to revisit the commitment. Maybe it's like I was all in a few weeks ago, now I'm not quite all in. That's not a commitment. That's not a commitment. A commitment means I'm all in no matter what until it happens. That's a commitment, no matter what I'm feeling. And if you have that commitment, I'm going to make this happen, right? If you want to commit here in the chat, then commit here in the chat. Put it in there. I'm committed. I'm all in. And if you're committed to make this happen, to do whatever it takes to create your impact, to build an experience that you know is going to serve people powerfully, if you're willing to do whatever it takes, you first make that commitment to yourself, and then you got to make that commitment to your people. You got to commit to your people that you are going to show up for them, that you're going to show them how to lead. You're going to show them what a commitment looks like. You're going to show them what messy action looks like. You're going to show them what it looks like to step into fear, to be courageous. You're going to show them what it looks like to do whatever it takes. And so my challenge to you, if you choose to accept it, is this week, the thing that I would like you to post. We have committed to creating online communities, to start to build an audience. Even if there's one person in there, who cares what the number is? All that matters is how you show up and that you get it going. And this is what I challenge you to do. State in the post. I just want you to tell me, what day and time are you committed to showing up in your community every week for your community, for your people? When does Dean show up for you in KBB? When? You guys already know the answer. Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Every Monday he's in there for you, isn't he not? He's leading by example. He's committed. He shows up for you guys every week, no matter what. So when are you going to show up for your people? Showing up for yourself and showing up for them. If you're ready to make that commitment. If you're not, that's okay. I don't want you to make the commitment if you're not ready. Because once you make it, that means you're all in. So I want you to really evaluate, am I all in? And if you are, then let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Let's create it. Let's make it happen. And then put on the post. It's already up there in our Facebook group, right? Just put in the comments the day and the time that you are committed to showing up for your community. And then I want you to start showing up for your community on that day and time. Doesn't matter who shows up for you yet. Maybe that's not even started. Maybe nobody shows up yet. That's okay. All that matters is that you show up. And if you show up, people are going to start paying attention, and your audience is going to build, and so will your momentum. But you first got to make that commitment. Are you guys with me? So that's what I want to see. All right? Let's make that commitment, guys. Let's see this thing through. Let's do this thing. Tell me in that post when you're going to show up for your people, day and time. And I will see you guys next Thursday for week 6 of your KBB walkthrough training. Guys, I had an amazing time here with you today. I will see you next week. Let's go.